Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Adult film star Stormy Daniels talks about her alleged affair with Donald Trump and the threats she received when she planned to go public years ago. I'm Hannah Doba with more on the 60 Minutes exclusive interview.
And it's that time of year, snowbanks giving way to potholes. Coming up, what local communities are doing to deal with much worse than normal pothole season, and how you can report your own pothole problem.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, easy for me to see as well. So, meantime, our top national story here at 6:30, an interview that aired last night on 60 Minutes, getting a lot of attention this morning.
That's right. Adult film star Stormy Daniels sat down with contributor Anderson Cooper about her alleged affair with President Trump. CBS's news correspondent Hannah Doba has more from New York on what she said.
Mostly LA still.
The porn star, who alleges she had an affair with President Trump, claims she was threatened after she told her story in 2011. Stormy Daniels, whose real name is Stephanie Clifford, says she was in a Las Vegas parking lot on her way to a fitness class with her young daughter when a man approached.
A guy walked up on me and said to me, "Leave Trump alone, forget the story." And then he leaned around and looked at my daughter and said, "A beautiful little girl. It'd be a shame if something happened to her mom."
The magazine story did not run, and Clifford was never paid the $15,000 she was promised. Clifford says she had consensual sex with Mr. Trump one time after meeting him at a celebrity golf tournament in Lake Tahoe in 2006. She was asked if she has any photos, emails, or texts tied to the president.
I can't answer that right now.
You don't want to say one way or the other if you have text messages or other items?
My attorney has recommended that I don't discuss those things.
A friend of Mr. Trump says the president called Clifford's allegations a political hoax when he spoke to him on Saturday.
There's never been a claim of harassment. So the president looks at this, and I think he's looking at it like I am looking at it. This is politically motivated to hurt and embarrass him in some way.
President Trump's lawyer, Michael Cohen, has threatened to sue Clifford for $20 million for violating a non-disclosure agreement she signed a week and a half before the 2016 election. Cohen paid her $130,000. He says he was not reimbursed by Mr. Trump or the Trump campaign. Clifford's attorney is seeking to have the agreement voided because President Trump did not sign it. Hannah Doba, CBS News.
Now, CBS News has learned President Trump had dinner with Cohen on Saturday night at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida.
Now, 6:33 on this Monday, and meteorologist Matt Elwell joins us, and the temperature for our friends in West Yellowstone keeps just head down.
Yep.
We had one. Do I hear zero?
We're at
the
zero,
land of
so.
negativity right now out there. So it's brutal.
You know what? You are the land of negativity.
Well, it is. That's where we're going right now.
Temperatures this morning sitting at 0 in West, 16 in Ennis, 20 degrees in Belgrade, teens and 20s. It's a chilly start to the day. Just keep in mind that it is spring, and we're going to see these big temperature fluctuations quite often here over the course of the next 2 months.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying.
Temperature-wise,
we should be into the low 40s by the afternoon. I think today remains dry, but we do have some snow on the way. We'll talk about the timing of that coming up in just a few minutes.
The upside, that crescent moon and those stars this morning were worth seeing under those clear
There's
skies.
that positivity.
There is an
Thank
upside.
you,
There you
Chad.
go. We're going to stay on topic just a bit now that winter is coming to an end and spring is here. We're on the road starting to show through, to say the least. MTN's Medeiros Bab takes us to the streets where potholes are causing headaches for some drivers.
Yeah, every spring is pothole season.
As snow melts and the sun starts shining, the effects from winter storm cycles start to show. On the Bozeman City website, there is a map of all the potholes recorded over the past 4 years. There are 603 reported so far for 2017.
The city classifies each pothole based on its length, width, location, and deepness.
The more severe potholes, meaning the ones that are the largest and on the busiest streets, are the ones the city fills first. However, Bozeman Director of Public Works Craig Woolard says the focus is to fix as many as possible.
They get a lot more expensive when they get bigger. So our goal is to try to catch them when they're small, but we don't get them all, especially when they pop up as quickly as they are this year.
Owner of Farr Automotive Specialist Francis Farr says hitting a pothole can cause damage to tires, rims, and even throw your vehicle out of alignment.
If you can avoid them at all costs. Because first off, you don't know how deep they are if they're full of water, and sometimes these things are a foot or two deep, which definitely is going to do some damage.
When the weather's good, you'll see our crews out there working hard to patch them up, and when we get these spring snows, obviously we switch to plowing the snow and cleaning things off, and then go back to patching potholes.
Main Street, Huffine Lane, 19th, 7th, and Rouse are maintained by the state and not the city. In Bozeman, Medeiros Babb, MTN News.
Now, Bozeman citizens can report a pothole on the city website or by calling 406-556-4700. The city says depending on the weather conditions, potholes should be filled within a week of request. Once again, catch and release only in those largest of potholes. By the way, with the warmer temperatures, the snow and ice starting to melt, people in Butte are also seeing more potholes on their streets. Butte Silver Bow's public works crews are busy trying to fill in those road hazards with the city's 2 Durapatcher units. People are encouraged to report any potholes by going to the Butte Silver Bow website.
We created a Report a Pothole site on the county webpage. We've got quite a few reports of potholes, which is good. We want to know where they're at. We have a goal every year of patching every pothole in the city, and that's our goal for again this year.
Now, when the weather warms up, crews will begin filling the potholes with asphalt there. Once again, no lifeguards on duty in those potholes in Butte.
And we do have one in our own parking lot that we would love some attention as well. In other news this morning, state lawmakers held a hearing on Friday afternoon over concerns how new regulations on Montana's medical marijuana industry are being implemented. MTN's Jonathan Mbarian looks at the questions that they brought up and how the state is now responding.
The Children, Families, Health and Human Services Interim Committee will consider later this year whether to officially object to new administrative rules on medical marijuana. They asked their staff to draw up a formal objection letter that they'll consider at their May meeting. The legislature passed a major reform of the medical marijuana system last year. They tasked the Department of Public Health and Human Services with creating rules to implement the law. But advocates and some lawmakers say the rules DPHHS came up with don't match what the legislature intended.
It's not going to achieve the goals that you set for it because it's being implemented differently.
They've raised concerns about several of the proposed changes, including a rule allowing providers to have up to 50 square feet of growing space for each patient they serve.
50 square feet puts us the #1 marijuana producer in the nation. It's more than Washington's regulation on recreational marijuana.
They also questioned why providers don't have to sign up for a new marijuana tracking system until their current license expires.
If your license expires on December 31st, you're under the radar. And so it's a different standard for different business owners.
DPHHS leaders say they have addressed the concerns lawmakers raised. They plan to propose emergency rules to reduce the allowed growing space. And while providers don't have to immediately join the tracking system, they still have to comply with the other regulations.
We have every intent of enforcing testing, inspection, labeling, packaging, signing, waste management, all of the other rules associated with operating a program.
In Helena, Jonathan Mbarian, MTN News.
Now, committee members say they wanted to wait until after the emergency rule changes are proposed before deciding on a formal objection. If they do file an objection, it won't stop the rules from going into effect, but the objection will be taken into consideration if a lawsuit is filed over those rules.
In other news, Bozeman Master Swim Class will be giving free swim lessons to adults coming up in April. Instructors had trained at the Bozeman Swim Center on Sunday. They practice how to teach flutter kicks, front strokes, and back strokes. They encourage anyone who doesn't know how to swim or wants to learn how to swim better to come to the class. Program coordinator Suzette Harkin says the training, she says anyone can swim if they learn just a couple of easy techniques.
It saves lives. If you know how to swim, you can save your life and other people's lives. And it really is empowering for adults to learn how to swim when they've never known how to swim.
These classes will start on April 9th. They're free and open to the public. My mom never learned to swim, so.
Really?
Nope. Something you should do.
My dad loves to swim every single day.
Yeah.
He tries to get the rest of us to join him.
Yep.
That's good workout.
It's good stuff.
No doubt about it. We do have to take a quick break. Welcome to your Monday. We're glad to have you here. Up next, quite the inspiring story about a young nurse in Billings diagnosed with cancer. She shares her story when we return.
But first, here's Nora O'Donnell with a look at what's coming up at 7 o'clock on CBS This Morning.
Good morning ahead here on CBS This Morning. Stormy Daniels' lawyer is right here in Studio 57 after that 60 Minutes interview last night. We're going to talk more about an alleged threat she received to keep quiet. And a sweeping new biography on Tiger Woods. Authors Armin Katayan and Jeff Benedict have new insight into one of the greatest golfers of all time. We'll see you right at 7.